part 2. Part 2 to character comps. So this is a very nice handy list that GameWith actually compiled so nicely. These are the characters and the weapons that you can use to delay without taking damage. These are the characters that allows you to do that, because they are the special type of delays. Like once again, like CAG is you just get that from dispelling, because you're not really essentially delaying, you're dispelling, but you also get the delay as well after you dispel. Tanya is that she delays whenever she dodges. Same goes for Naru. Ladiva gets hit, I think. No, not gets hit, sorry. As long as Ladiva is targeted, Ladiva can delay. Yes. Drang can delay on one of his skills, I think, if I recall correctly. Yeah. He has that type of special delay or something. I've forgotten how he does it, but yeah, he can do that. But yeah, all this, you can actually do a special delay without harming yourself. These are the characters that you can use or consider to have in order for you to safely delay Belial without taking any damage. Same goes for the weapons here. So if you're wondering which weapons are these, at the bottom here, oops. This, if I recall correctly, is Athena Spear. This is the Token Rambu event, if I recall correctly, right? This is the Katana from the Token Rambu collab event, which I don't think it's possible to get it anymore. This is Arsene, which is Katharine's dagger. No, it's Carmelina. I'm sorry. Okay, my bad. That's Carmelina's weapon. That's Metera's bow. This is Lion Khan, man. This is the 30 Gold Moon weapon. This is Beatrix's sword, if I recall correctly. This is Vite's dagger. This is... what's the... Freezy's, right? This is Freezy, right? Yeah, it is Freezy. Yeah, what the fuck? Okay. So it is Freezy's weapon. Okay, I was like, what the hell? I thought it looks like someone else. Yes, it is Freezy's. Okay, so this Athena as in the raid weapon, not Athena's weapon. The Athena character is something else. So that's Athena raid's weapon, the spear. This is Token Rambu's katana, the collab weapon. Katharine's dagger, Carmelina, the Metera's bow, the 30 Gold Moon weapon, the the Dark Beatrix's sword, Vite's dagger, and this is Freezy's weapon. Yep. Okay, so those are the weapons. If you really want to get to see what whether you require the full limit break or not, just check wiki, please. A lot of times, I think I'm just gonna go on by element. So first is fire. A lot of times fire will obviously run Athena. Athena can delay as well, but Athena has just massive sustain. She's getting a full limit break soon too. So if you are planning to, if you're planning to run fire, you can technically kind of wait for Athena to get full limit break first. But yeah, Athena is also one of the characters that usually being run right now. Strum is another one, because as you can see earlier, Strum is listed there as well. Acer can be another one, because Acer does a lot of hits, and you know there's like that 35 hits trigger thing. Acer should allow you to essentially get rid of that quite easily. Acer also kind of helps you with a lot of nuke damage, because you know, gives you skill cap if you're using like, yeah, Athena again, once again, all that stuff. It will help you a lot. And then obviously there's another one which is called Nemone. Yes, Nemone is a freaking MVP as well, because you know she can nuke and nuke and nuke and nuke, because you know this can consistently happen very often. But keep in mind, okay, keep in mind that there's a very high chance to, if you actually use this, there's a high chance that MC can get deleted quite easily. Keep that in mind, okay? If you're planning to use Nemone, alright? Like Christmas Nemone. She is pretty good because of the amount of you see, if you can actually get this up, it's really good. She can give you a lot of defenses and all this this wonderful buffs here. Very helpful. It will help you a lot in the long run. But I think like the standard one, people will like just use Athena, Strum, and some other random character, that whichever you feel like. That's usually like the go-to. Classes, really, you can just go whatever. Tormentor is always like the go-to one, because it makes your life very easy. Like If you really need delay, you can just delay on the spot kind of thing. If you need to dispel, you can dispel on the spot, those kind of stuff. But it is very, very expensive. You could also just use like other classes, maybe like Lumberjack can kind of help you do more nuke damage, more hits, extra a little bit of a buff here and there, because you can actually get the a little bit of the attack defend up thingy a little bit. Yeah, if you don't really get too damage on your MC. Yeah, Lumberjack works. Masquerade kind of works too. But yeah, the go-to for fire is still gonna be Tormentor right now, I think, because it's kind of like one of the easier ones. Water. So water, the go-to ones is obviously always having Quatre, because you know Quatre has 130 right now. If you actually did get him to 130, that's good, right? Because Quatre is a god. Probably is like one of the must-have characters for water at the moment, because Quatre gives so much at the moment for like so much damage and utility for water setups. Because you have, if you have at least get him to 120, you can also get this. And we all know that you are going to get hit no matter what. All of your characters, because that's how it is. So this, you'll allow him to consistently just nuke non-stop. So that's why Quatre is really, really helpful. And not to mention, if you did not get Quatre to 130, but you got Uno to 130, that also is very, very helpful, because I learned not too long ago is that this thing applies to everyone. Yeah. I didn't know, actually. I only learned this like several days ago doing Belial. I actually didn't know about this. Apparently this 120 thing, okay, is applied to all your members, as long as you have him there in the front line. And the reason why he's really good is that because he has this, which pairs very well with this, because of his fire switch. But your only problem is that you need him at 130, unfortunately. So, yes. That's the only downside. If this is just saying that if you did get him to 130, okay? This is only if you get him 120. 130. 120, not too much, because he doesn't have this. Alright, so that's for water. The other water characters, obviously, you can is Drang. So yeah, Drang has the special delay thing from this. Apparently, this doesn't count as like a normal delay. This is like a special delay. It doesn't allow you to get hit, because this is kind of like, basically he's just nuking. This is just a normal nuke. It's just saying that if you have this, he will delay as well. So apparently Belial doesn't nuke you back, as long, you know, as if you do this kind of thing. Yeah, another reason why I will even say that Drang is like probably a really, really good choice here is just the fact that he can be switching on the defensive side of things, which allows you to get more heals. And like, you know, if you're really like running low on HP and you do not have any more pots, you can get him up as well. Yeah. So the other one is like, yeah, not Christmas Naru, but Summer Naru. Summer Naru does that as well. Summer Naru is very similar to Tanya, where if you dodge, you get to inflict delay. Yeah. It's just the only difference I think for Naru is that her dodge is not as high as Tanya, if I recall correctly. But on the bright side, at least Naru can allow you to do more damage, so that's great. And then the other one, from what I heard, I think now the strat for water is to run Kango or something. Yeah, there she is. Apparently, she's a thing now. From what I heard, a lot of people are running her with Kango thingy, with the what's that? The Token Rambu weapon or something. Yeah, that's what I heard. Which helps a lot apparently. You can just mash and then she automatically heals your heal your team or something. Because usually, right? Because the thing is, usually after turn 10, you're pretty much really on a like You're almost dying already. It's insane actually. It's like the timing of this will be like, it can't be any better. Like after turn 10, you'll be so damaged you're out of pots. This couldn't come at a better time. You would just remove all the buffs and then you you fully heal yourself as well. And water can get a lot of HP too. So you'll be super healthy and then you can continue mashing again. It's fucking absurd. And yeah. So you get all this extra thing which helps a lot too, so permanent debuffs. Can't say no to that, right? Yeah. So that's the few water characters I can mention right now. I'm not gonna go too in depth to every one, obviously. We're just gonna mention a few notable ones. Then Wind. Obviously Wind is you definitely want to run Urias, because that's kind of like a brain date kind of thing. Right? Like, why would you not run Urias? Isn't it? Okay, so bottom line, if you're playing Wind in Belial, you're just gonna use this guy and be the debuffer guy. That's it. That's your role. You stay alive, you debuff, that's it. If you don't do damage, well, that's pretty unfortunate, but your most important role is to debuff anyway, so you can allow everyone else to do all the damage, right? Yeah. So the other thing is the other characters you probably may consider for Win is that you could use similar characters that is good for Fa as well. For example, Monkey, Siete, Katura works as well. I don't remember. Fuck Win! Yeah! I'm just kidding, alright? wait, shit, I don't remember. Yes, Kamakura, yes. Samakoa, yes. I totally forgot about her, my bad. Samakoa is great because she can allow you to get all the extra defenses that you may actually need when it comes to the raid, because, you know, the guy hits really, really hard. You can, if you're pairing her with like maybe Siete or something, at least you can consistently just Ogi, get extra meter for her, so she can consistently do that buff thingy, so you can consistently mash onto everyone else kind of thing. He helps, gives more defenses, more damage, works out for everyone, right? So yes. The reason why Monkey is also really great is because she can full heal too. That's why she can full heal. So this one is really helpful, especially when you're really, really low on HP. So usually from what I can see, right, if you're a Win player, what you want to do is that you wouldn't want to press this in turn 1. Keep in mind, I feel like you're only going to press this once in the entire fight, okay? So what you want to do, I feel like you only want to press this after when all your pots are gone. I feel like it's much better you put it that way. Like, at the start, if you think you're too low already, just use your pots first. Don't use this yet. Because this might actually a bad thing. Because from what I experienced thus far as a Win player, this thing is bad because you can only clear this, right? Unless you ask for 2 clears, which is honestly asking a lot. Right? You usually only want to ask for 1 clear most of the time. Unless you're already in that position when you get what is that? Fucking DOT damage and the supplemental thing from Gosha. Yeah, you get that debuff thing, then yeah, you probably want to get that so-called clears in, right? But yeah. So you don't want to ask you don't want to be that person to be like super greedy and ask for like constant clears, which I actually kind of did at the time. But yeah, you know, you only want to use this as like your last resort. You never want to press this at the beginning. It can be really, really bad. And then like you want to only make use of this when there's like a multi-hit non-AoE kind of thing and you have full meter on Monkey. Because Monkey does have this. Don't forget, Monkey does have this, where she has 100% dodge or guaranteed dodge whenever she Ogis, right? So you can actually use this on herself and she'll dodge everything. Like Goetia is also another one that allows you to do that. So what I usually do is that, because my win sucks ass, what I usually do is that I will nuke at that turn number 3, for example, the Goetia trigger. I will not be able to do 15 million, but I will survive because I will use this second skill onto herself, so she will dodge everything. I'll take no damage, and I'm scratched, alright? So yeah, and then obviously this one will help you, well, do extra damage, right? And yeah, this one helps you buff so you can, you know, sustain yourself, because, you know, it's pretty good, right? It's like extra defense, and then allows you to have this as well, because this is debuff success rate. It helps your Urias to land more often, because, you know what's the crazy thing about this? There are a lot of times, I think even Magic included, where even with this buff, right, with debuff success rate, Urias still can miss a lot of times. So there are times where Belial's debuff resistance is really, really high at some point of the raid. So this probably will help you in the long run when you're using with your Urias. Because, you know, if you are just that guy, just debuffing, it's very, very important for you to like consistently land your debuffs, right? So if you don't have her, it might be a little bit harder, but you know, yeah, just keep that in mind. Oh yeah, another thing I forgot to mention, okay? Urias, right? Speaking of win, Urias has a very, very special thing going on in the raid. So apparently, Urias S1 doesn't affect... You see, this is a blue border, right? His S1 doesn't affect the apple, which is good. Because the blue apple, whenever you press a blue border skill, you will take 10,000 plain damage, which is fucking massive, right? Especially if you're a Green Magna player, for example. But for some reason, this doesn't take that. So rest assured, you can happily press that. Yeah. Thank God for that. Yeah. So it's very, very useful. Oh, and keep in mind, this one technically is allowing you to have debuff resistance lowered, so try to press this first before you do this. Because usually we just press this straight away, right? So now because he has a full limit break, you have this, you have a force skill now. Try to press this first. So yeah, that's cool. Alright, okay. What else? Katura is actually okay to use here just because that she has a lot of hits. Yeah. Honestly, I think just Katura is okay here just because her S2 is really, really helpful and she can heal her MC and can heal a lot to MC. 12,000, man. 12,000 is a lot of HP. So you can just get like so many hits because of this, and you just Ogi a lot if you have like Sete as well. Yeah, but I don't think like this one is honestly, to me, right? If you're planning to use Katura, it feels more like you're going for more an offensive type of setup. So usually Win players, unfortunately, if you're a Win player, you are, because you have a guy called Urias. The other elements, the most we get is Tabina. And we all know how shit she is compared to Urias, unfortunately. So, sorry to say, Win players, you're stuck with that. You are honestly stuck with that. You are like your job is to just debuff. Just leave the DPS to other elements. Honestly, I think that's fine because the most of the time, if given a choice, I would rather just do that and leech anyway. So if like anything happens, right? Anything happens, I just blame them because I'm just here to debuff. As long as I debuff, my job is done, right? That's all you want to do, isn't it? Yeah, so... yeah, just... yeah, copium, dude. Alright, so that's Win. Damn, I already talked too much on Win already. Okay, so next is Earth. So Earth has a few choices you can do. Lobelia is really, really good to have in here because it allows you to take lesser turns and you get to do even more, especially with Lobelia in it, because you know Lobelia allows you to reduce like what, 3 turns cooldown or something? Remove 3 turns to your cooldowns. So it helps a lot, especially like when you want to use like a summon that you can just use his S3 or some S2 or something to actually negate that debuff from the field effect kind of thing. You could do that, but keep in mind is that if you're planning to kill off someone, apparently if you do get someone killed to bring Invoker in right off the bat, like how you usually do with Fa, apparently you do actually buff Belial at the beginning. Yeah, just keep that in mind. Yeah. So Lobelia is one. Makira is also another really good one, just because that Makira's debuff. So the reason why she's really good, her debuffs, is because of this. I can assure you, right? I can assure you, this debuff saves a lot of lives. Because apparently at some point of the raid, right, you can actually land this, and it will allow him to not multi-attack so much. Because at some point, if he triple attacks your fucking dick, you can immediately see your backline is like in front already all of a sudden. You have like missing characters out of the blue because he does that. I think I just showed you there. If you actually watched in the Crash Course video thing, I probably showed you already. Because that fucking happens a lot. This can save a lot of lives. Trust me, this is very fucking useful. It helps everyone in the raid. So it like allows them to, you know, reduces the chances of them getting their asses kicked that hard. And of course, like if you want, yeah, you can, well, get one extra blue pot, right? So yeah, chicken's good for that. You can technically also use Christmas Naru for like the offensive type of character. And the other thing that Christmas Naru is also able to provide is that, well, she can fucking all sub as well. Yeah, don't forget that her assassin skill allows her to all ally sub. So, you know, like, for example, like the LeMayo Gaten, the LeMayo trigger. Yeah, the LeMayo trigger is AoE, single hit AoE. Naru can do this to negate it. She doesn't take damage because she has, well, this. She has 99% repel. She only takes 1% of the damage, so she essentially don't take damage. So you can just use this. Christmas Naru is relatively good because you're also gonna take a lot of hits, which in a way allows her to consistently counter, blah blah blah, and all that stuff. So yeah, she's kind of like your DPS character. If you're afraid, you can always just bring Summer Alex instead or something. But honestly, I think if you want to bring like a support character, I would even consider Ladiva more of a support role this time around, because Ladiva has that special delay that I mentioned earlier. If you saw the list, like this one, right? This list here, wrong screen. Yeah, this one here. See, Ladiva is listed, right? So Ladiva is pretty nice to have, just because that as long as you're targeted with a foe with this, you can always delay. So as long as you can consistently Ogi, you should be fine. But a lot of times you can kind of make do even without Ladiva. That's why, like, if you don't really want to rely on your characters to do all this, you just well, rely on your MC's this thing. That's why I think a lot of Earth players always use this, because you can Ogi with your MC and delay. I think that's like really one of the main problems as Earth player as well, because Earth player is very similar as like Wind, where it doesn't really have a lot of what's the special delay type of mechanic going on for them. But it doesn't really matter, right? Because the reason why Earth is still somewhat good is that Earth has a lot of damage in comparison to like what Wind can really provide, right? Because Earth can consistently do really high damage, especially when there's a high defense, right? Because, you know, Earth has a lot of nukes, especially if you're using Lobelia. You can do so much damage. You can accumulate it a lot over time. Seriously, you can accumulate a lot. Like Lobelia's having Lobelia in a party makes you run very, very slow, but you're able to do so much more damage in much lesser turns, which is quite essential in a raid like this. Because like I said right at the beginning in the previous video, the amount of turns you take in this is very, very important. Because every 3 turns is a trigger. Remember that. Very, very important. That's why. So if most of the time, I think Earth players are also the ones where they don't really take too many turns. But at the same time, they are doing like what, 1.5, 1.2 million, 2 million honors or something. They can hit really, really hard in much lesser turns. But yeah, if you can actually able to push even more, by all means. But yeah, keep that in mind. Okay. Yeah, then the other one is Summer Silva, which I do not have, Sag. Yeah, because she can do this. She can inflict delay on Ogi. So nice. Yeah, so she's that kind of character. Okay, moving on. Alright, let's go to Dark. Dark, your number one MVP character to have is Tanya. There is no doubt Tanya is probably the best character to have as Dark. Why? Because she can dodge. She has really, really high dodge. She has high dodge rate. She has very high innate dodge rate. And she has this as well. And every single time she dodges, she nukes. And she delays. But at the same time, this can also be a double-edged sword, right? If your RNG sucks dick... right? If your RNG sucks dick, this doesn't happen at all. So... it can be a give or take, right? So that's why I think a lot of times... This probably is just... probably only applicable for me, because this is just my opinion kind of thing. Where... if I were to use Dark, right? I usually prefer to run... Vikala with her, just so that the Vikala will allow, or Jiki, whichever you want to call her, because she can buff, she can do that buff to this buff thingy to Tanya as well, because this technically gives you more dodge, so it helps, right? It gives you an extra chance to dodge, plus not only that, she is able to, you know, not take too much damage, because, you know, she is able to dodge all on Ogi as well. Plus, she can essentially, well, if you're actually using this, probably I would as well, just so you can get extra damage and, you know, you can get way more out of it. Plus, you're actually getting more damage, so your damage is more consistent here and there. The other character that you probably may consider is obviously 6, because 6 is, well, 6, right? Do you need me to explain about 6, really, at this point? I mean, it's 6, right? Fuck, it's just 6. You know what he can do, what he's able to do. Then another one, obviously, also you can consider is Ray. Ray is also very, very good to go with 6. Right? Isn't it? Like, if you're actually using Ray, right? Probably the best character to go is 6. Just because that a lot of times in runs, whenever I see Ray is being used, you want to use this, so 6 can go yeah. Then at times, you can also just use this as your emergency panic button. And also, the other good thing is that she has this thing and allows you to do this. See this? Very nice. Remember what I said when I was explaining the whole Makira thing earlier? Yeah. That's why. This is really, really handy. Like, seriously. You have no idea how useful this can be for everyone in the raid. So if you actually... It's like, oops. Like, it's one of those rare times, right? It's one of those rare times where you're actually using Ray in the front line. Because a lot of times we just use Ray and just, well, do this, right? And then bring her to the back. But you can actually kind of like... how do I say? In parts of your run, you can actually use Ray to use her in the front line for a bit. And then use this to bring Tanya out from the back. Because, you know, at the beginning... it's still like relatively chill. The dynamons are not super high up and stuff, so you can kind of like go on the offensive a little bit as a dark, doing dark things, right? Then you can, just lag 6 do all the damage, blah blah blah. You can also allow Ray to just Ogi once and get this permanent debuff there. And get all this there, and then eventually you can just use this to switch to Tanya and then let Tanya do all the delays, yada yada yada. Good stuff, right? Okay. There's probably other dark I could probably mention, but I'm just gonna move on, okay? I'm just gonna move on to 6th element. The 6th element, not 6. I won't say it by accident, but okay. So now we have the final element, which is light. So light, probably the best character, one of the best character to have in this is Grand Kag. Why? Do you need me to tell you? Dude, I already showed you how good she was in the previous video, okay? In the crash course. Grand Kag, all you need to do is bring dispels, okay? That's all you need to do. You just bring dispels, she can delay for you. She can also do damage for you. Oops. Is that crazy? And not only that, she has this very, very strong ass buff that allows you to consistently double attack and have very, very high triple attack rate as well. More CA damage and shit, so you can like nuke harder, all that stuff, blah blah blah. I mean, well, you're not gonna see this at all, but yeah. This one is really, really helpful. This is also can be your like panic button. But yeah, keep in mind this works very differently from like some of the other characters like Ray, for example. It works very differently, especially if you do use her third skill in Belial. But for my case, usually Kag, what I usually try to do, yes, wait, I'll get into that in a while. Usually what I try to do when her third skill, I will always use this around 25 onwards, because it will help a lot with when you have this thing along with this thing. Holy shit, this is a fucking lifesaver, seriously. Usually what I try to do is that especially if you for some reason you do not have your chain up yet, you could essentially use this. And also like if you're also in a situation where, I think I explained it a little bit in a previous video, where I used this skill to kind of like play around with the turns, just so that the 3 turn, every 3 turn Ogi thing, that thing lands together at 25. You know what I mean? So it's like the 25 trigger appears once it hits 25, and then you so happen reach like maybe turn 12, for example. You turn 12 and then reach 25. So both triggers will be there together. So you don't get that the Goisha thing with where you need to activate Fatal Chain like one after another kind of thing. This will allow you to kind of like negate that a little bit, so you only need to use once. And plus you have this up the entire way, because at 25% he removes all debuffs. So you place this after 25, the whole 25 in 6 turns. 6 turns is massive, man. 6 turns you're pretty much kind of safe from taking hits, so it helps out a lot. And yeah, then, well, if you do have Kag as well, I'm very certain you will have her weapon. And then her weapon is also freaking insane. Right? If you do have her weapon and max full limit break, I mean, you can use Monk and do a fuckload of damage. Very cool. Okay. So yeah. And yes, keep in mind, yes, as Cal mentioned earlier, please do not use Typhoon if you're using Kag, okay? I've gone through so many issues with that in the beginning, okay? That's one of the reasons, if you're using Kag, I suggest you to bring Long Dong. Because Long Dong gives you instant charge, meaning guaranteed 100% meter. Where, because, Kag has this thing, 35% charge bar gain lower. So keep that in mind. If you have fucking Kag there, if you think if you're at 0 meter, okay? If you're at 0 meter, do not ask for Typhoon. You should only ask for Typhoon when you're maybe higher up or something. Do not use that. Like, same goes for like if you're Tormentor, right? You know, Tormentor has that 100% meter to MC, right? Do not do that when you're at 0 meter. Do that when you have a little bit of meter. Yeah. Yes, exactly. That's very true. Because Long Dong is light as well, you can access it much earlier. But a lot of times, if you're light, you're able to do turns very, very easily. You can take turns very, very easily. Especially if you're using Tormentor, you just need to burn a lot of bones. Because you just got Rune Dagger, Rune Dagger, Rune Dagger. Because Rune Dagger is essentially your delay. Because, you know, you need to dispel to delay it instead of the actual delay, right? Excuse me. So yeah, Grand Kag is your #1 MVP character if you're a light player. The other one is a lot of people will definitely use is obviously Noah. The reason why Noah is also really, really good because #1, you have one permanent debuff, and that permanent debuff allows you to also dispel. Yes, you can also dispel by casting this. So you have a dispel that's free, one more delay, and you have extra this. Pretty cool, right? And then you get extra damage too for this. Pretty cool, right? And then you can also use this for like Lemeo, the Lemeo trigger, or any basic, because there are a few instances where the trigger is just AoE, single hit AoE. You can use this to save yourself if you think that you're not able to go through the trigger. Bear in mind that you're probably going to be able to only use this once. You're only going to probably be able to use this once. And this one, probably you're only going to use it twice. From my experience, it's only twice maximum because I can't go that many more turns after that. This one's really, really good if you are trying to like just have like an extra nuke for like say for your 15 million nuke. Thick kind of scenario. I usually use this on turn 3 and the final nuke. It's very, very helpful for the final nuke because you have like CA reactivation. Very, very handy. Yeah, so that's why Noah is really, really good. I mean, especially if you're using a Kag, right? Noah is also really good because Noah allows you to actually negate the meter loss, like. Because you know Kag has a very slow meter gain because whenever you press her S1, everyone has very slow meter, right? So Noah allows you to negate that a little bit. That's why Noah is really good. The other one is like the last slot, technically you can just slot in whatever you want. Like, yeah, this guy. actually no, probably not. But you can actually, if you're afraid, right? If you're really afraid, like you want to take more turns and whatnot, just go get Funfu to 6 stars. Yep. Just get Funfu to 6 stars and you should be good. But, I mean, jokes aside, yeah, Funfu is okay because you can delay on Ogi. I mean, even Melissa Bell is okay as well. Because she has a lot of nuke. And you can also get this as well. If you need to what's that? Have her, if you can't take any more damage or whatever, this will definitely help out a lot because 100% chance to get 80% damage reduction is a lot. Yeah, this is a lot. Hair Potato is really, really helpful for this. Yeah. Then you can extra nuke. Yeah, you get lots of nukes and stuff. But yeah, then obviously you get this guy as well. This guy does waste like a fuckload of damage. Not only that, he also gives you a lot as well because of this thing. He gives you all this. So basically you get all of this when you have 5. And usually you can get 5 very easily anyway if you just have him alone. So that's why you get like pretty much insane like utility just having Anglo-Veil. That's why a lot of people run Anglo-Veil as well. Because Anglo-Veil allows you to also kind of help with debuffs as well in a bit. Not as great as Urius, obviously, but you can still do it. You can kind of help out a little bit, you know? Yeah. So it helps out a lot. Anglo-Veil is pretty insane. Lily can kind of work too, I suppose, but I don't think you really need to run Lily. Yeah. You can kind of help, but like, yeah, gravity doesn't work, so. But yeah, other stuff does kind of help a lot because, you know, you're using this. if you're using Noah, Kag, that's already 2, and then you already have Lily is unknown, which is same as MC. So yeah, this is primal, and then Kag is human. So yeah, you should be able to use Lily too if you want. If you do have Lily, yeah, you can kind of use Lily. But yeah, those are the few notable ones. I'm not really gonna go too deep into this already because this video is already going way too fucking long. It's 2 fucking hours worth of video now. But yeah, that's all I can say for now. If you really need help in like advice on like what we can help in terms of like Belial stuff or whatever, maybe you can even do chat runs. I mean, I actually tried to do chat runs already. Maybe I'll do more in the following week or so. Just hop onto the stream if you want, and we'll see how it goes from there. Let's learn and master Belial raid together. Yay! Alright, thanks for watching, whoever is actually watching this. And I'll see you guys next time. Enjoy. Bye-bye.